Gotta call up, book. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together.
And welcome back to the True Patriot podcast. Folks, we are doing in our series of updates and reconnects here with some of our partners that we work with out there. We have the distinct privilege to connect up with today none other than Miss Michelle Kaye of Operation Equine. Michelle, thank you for joining us and checking back with us here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was such a blast the first time. I'm thrilled to do it a second.
That's right. Well, we are very thankful that you decided to come back even after meeting us one time, so that's kind of our litmus test. That's what we do there. See if you come back a second time. That's
absolutely.
All right. We're in.
Wouldn't miss it. Yeah.
So what I wanted to do is just touch base. Since we last spoke, we've been busier than, one-armed paper hanger out there ourselves. And we know that you guys have been extremely busy and lots of things coming about there. So that was the whole purpose of this. Wanted to touch base. And how has your spring been since we last spoke in the winter there? How has spring been treating you guys?
Yeah, spring has definitely been springing. With the winds, it's been a little bit bonkers.
Yes.
The horses are super sensitive to the wind, and
so are the anglers.
Yes, I imagine, right? Get everything flying around. But yeah, things are starting to absolutely pick up with the beautiful weather, and we've got some groups going on. We've got a fundraiser coming up. We've got some availability for the sponsorship fund and donations for that. We've got all sorts of good stuff going on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And with Romans on our side of this, working with you guys has been, I can tell you from behind the scenes, Brian and I speak at least 3 to 4 times a week. And your name continues to get brought up with us because after you and I had a chance to connect, we're excited about where Operation Equine is looking, where you guys want to go. You fit so perfectly with us and our mission to be able to offer other organizations out there that, are doing what you're doing. You're the only one that we have connection with. And so we're excited about where you guys are going with that. So talk to me, what is this year, what are we looking at for the end of this year type thing here as we go from spring here into summer, fall, and start in? What's it looking like?
Yeah, well, just first of all, just thank you again. The connection, with y'all and Roman's organization and Brian and everybody, just everything that you're doing and including us in and partnering on. We are so honored. And it's fun, and everyone feels that energy. They feel that connection. They feel that authenticity of partnership. It's one of the reasons I love working up at Allegiance Ranch as well, like what Dan and Gloria have going on up there and the energy that produces for the volunteers, for the veterans, for the horses, for the groups that we're doing.
Absolutely.
And then down at Colorado Equine Specialists, our other location down in Parker, with Marie Hancock, same thing. Just she is such an amazing equine specialist, and her horses, they never fail to show up and teach us a lesson or two. So yeah. So thank you. So in answer to your question, one of the things that I want to be able to speak to that has been a great kickstart to our spring is I was invited to speak at the Veteran Partnerships and Mental Health Conference. It was the second annual, and it was at CU Anschutz.
Oh, okay.
And we were given the honor to be able to have a presentation spot there. And so this was organizations from all over the United States that came that are connected with the Marcus Institute for Brain Health. And so, there were universities there, and there were other organizations there. Wounded Warrior Project was there. America's Warrior Partnership, and just all different organizations, service dog organizations, the animal human interaction was there. And just the sharing of the, not just the information, but the passion and how we can actually do what we do better through partnerships, through collaboration, and not just staying in our silos and trying to, and not trying to just act alone, how much better we can all work when we work together and share volunteers, share funding, share ideas, all those kinds of things. Yeah. You're about
to better understand what we're talking about here is, for many years, the recreational, therapy piece was kind of fighting for its credibility piece. This, correct me if I'm wrong here, these type of gatherings that you're going to now, we're past that. We know the credibility is in place there. Yeah. Now we're talking about the improvement of these services here. And that's what you had the opportunity to participate in. Am I right in yes, what I'm assuming was something like that?
100% correct. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We talked about fly fishing, and we talked about equine therapy. We talked about hunting. We talked about nature therapy. The storytelling people got to present, and it was phenomenal, to show he took us through an exercise in literally 3 minutes, and it was game changing. It was like the last half an hour of the conference, and it really brought everything together. So I think the more, the wilderness therapy, experiential therapy, arts and creative therapy is starting to get its place of not just being a woo-woo feel-good kind of thing,
right?
But actually statistically speaking, and with brain research, putting it all together and saying, this is why our brains and our bodies and our spirits actually need this kind of therapy as well, in addition.
Well, and we're not talking about, this is the thing when people ask this, when they ask me, oh, so this is alternative medicine. I said, I don't know. I don't like putting it in that, because when you put it in there, now you're also putting it in with, holistic type, which I'm not poo-pooing on the holistic side, but a lot of that stuff, some of the oils and these things, while they may be beneficial to some, they're not backed with scientific data like this is. We have, no, I'm maybe a bad example, but my point is that no longer is recreational therapy considered that. No, this is an option, towards dealing with helping these folks find some sense of relief, find some sense of cope.
Absolutely.
And carry on a normal life.
Yeah. And one of the words that they use generally more often these days, which is great, is complementary therapy. So yes, absolutely. Go out and go fishing for the afternoon. And then depending on what comes up, then go talk to your therapist, right? Because it's going to open you up. Or spend a day with the horses, do a weekly. So our weekly drop-in group, just to circle back to your original question, kind of what we're doing. So we have one weekly group up at Allegiance Ranch, which is in Erie. And so that's run by one of our therapists, Allison McCabe, and we call it the Weekly Warrior Equine Group, the WEWEG. If anyone can come up with a better acronym, you're welcome to. We scratched our heads because we didn't want to take things that had already been taken. And so right now we've got the WWEG, the Weekly Warrior Equine Group. That's from 11 to 1 on Thursdays. And it's a drop-in group, and it's free, and it's a, coffee and refreshments, and come one, come all, come every week, come once every, third Thursday, whatever you can do. And so that's one of those specific things. So sometimes, there are people who are doing regular therapy and regular counseling who also come to that, and so being able to go back and forth, because sometimes when therapists are stuck in their offices and they've gotten to a topic and they're just not getting past, I've gotten calls from therapists to say, can we come out there? Or can I come out there? Or can I send so-and-so out there to get to the next level and help break through this challenge that we're going through? And so we welcome therapists to come out with their, with their clients or with their participants if they want, because so often they can actually add. So when something happens with the horses, they can lean in and say, hey, this is what happens with your 7-year-old, right? And then to be able to make the connection to go, oh,
right.
Yeah. And the therapist doesn't have to, because we'll get to it anyway, and often the participant will say, oh, this is what happens with my 7-year-old. And this is where I get to, right? Because the horses are being able to point to that, and then we can help translate that. So just sometimes what happens is therapists or other counselors or other programs will think, oh gosh, they're, if they go do this fishing therapy or equine therapy or yoga therapy or dance therapy or art therapy, we'll lose them as a client.
Right.
Not the case. To be able to have it be a complementary therapy, you can do both.
I love that term.
Yeah. It complements what they're already doing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's one of the things we've got going on. And then, we still see individual clients at both places. We are looking to do some more groups. What we're really finding is that, again, to the point of the complementary thing, especially if someone's getting individual therapy somewhere else, that group experience, that camaraderie, to be able to spend time with other veterans. Doesn't
Yep.
matter necessarily what generation, what branch, how old, how young, combat, non-combat, you know, at the end of the day, you spoke the oath, right? You signed a piece of paper on the dotted line. You served. Come on and hang out with your other veterans.
Yeah.
And so we're also finding that the groups are really beneficial for folks. And so those are some things we're putting together. And because we're family oriented, we're also looking together. We just actually applied for a grant to be able to serve the entire family so that the veterans would get their group, the spouses or the significant others get their group, because a lot of times they need a place. They need a,
Heck
you know,
yeah.
a safe place to be able to say, look, is it just my person or is your person like that too? Like, okay, you know, so they don't think it's just their person.
Right.
And it doesn't matter to us what the nature of the relationship, married, not married, partner, domestic partner, significant spouse. For parenting, I actually had a couple, they were co-parents. They had been divorced recently, but they were still friends and wanted to co-parent better. So they came to us and they still did the couples group.
That's awesome.
To be able to do a group of couples where they wanted to communicate better, to make sure that they were still serving their children in a way that was serving them as co-parents and serving their children as well, to be able to say, hey, we'll always both be your parents. Just because we're not husband and wife anymore doesn't mean we're not still always going to be your parents. So that was a beautiful thing.
I could almost see that being kind of an advantage if they took, you know, that one layer out of it and just their sole attention now is right there with the child. I mean, that's, you don't have that other, you know, worry that if I do this, great, I'm sleeping, you know, on the couch tonight. And
right.
When you know that I'm already on the couch, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. We're already on different couches, so we might as well see
Exactly.
where we can communicate better for the benefit of our kids. Yeah.
Yeah, that is an awesome deal.
Yeah, and so then being able to do a kids group as well. So what we would, you know, with this grant, we would be able to serve the veterans, their spouses or partners, be able to do a couples group, and then be able to do a kids group, and then the icing on the cake would be getting the whole family together. So then the whole family would then, because it gives everyone a common language, because sometimes, you know, especially these days, language is tough. Language can be tough. People are so afraid of, you know, hurting someone's feelings or not using the correct terminology or saying something that's going to offend somebody. If the whole family can say, well, you're acting like that horse, you know, when we talked about it, you know, to be able to say, oh yeah, we're having some herd dynamics right now. And it lightens things up and it gives everybody some common vocabulary to be able to say, you know, well, gosh, remember when Max the horse was doing that one thing and you did this and I didn't like it, you know, stop being like Max, you know, so it lightens things up a little bit and it gives them that common bond, which is
it's that common frame of reference too.
Right.
So many times, you know, just in personal life, you know, there's always been that you're speaking this, the other one's speaking this, and you may think you're communicating, but there's no common frame of reference from where you're coming from. The horses in that area, they provide that common ground so that everybody's speaking right to the same location. You know, that's, you see the brilliance in that in a hurry. And that's some powerful stuff. Yeah.
And the horses are very clear on their communication. You know, we might all, like if you and I were both watching a horse and a horse walks away from us, you know, somebody, you know, you might be like, well, clearly that horse doesn't like me. It's walking away. And I might just be like, oh, that horse actually went to go check out the perimeter because it saw a coyote trotting across the field. And I might know exactly why that horse walked away from us. Neither of us would be right and neither of us would be wrong. The fact is that the horse walked in a different direction than where we were standing.
Right.
So we get to be able to share those different perspectives and then work it out from there. Right.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun.
You know, you have taught me from our first meeting to this, every time we speak, there's always something tidbits I pick up from this stuff and I try to carry with my old brain, try to retain it. Thankfully, I record this stuff so I can go back and I can listen to it later. So that's that is a neat dynamic that's taking place within that. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So then two other things that I'm going to put out there that are updates is one, I spoke to it briefly the last time we talked. It's the Warrior Therapeutic Pack Trip that we've actually got.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are starting to put that out there for sponsorships to be able to get that paid for. It's taking the best of all the things we do together. Like you were talking about wilderness therapy, experiential therapy. We'll take all the work that we do on the ground with the horses, because all the work that we do at Operation Equine is, except for this warrior therapeutic pack trip, is on the ground. So then it's taking it to the next level with the therapeutic riding piece. Because of course we know there is nothing like being on the back of a horse and that relationship. And so many people, they've been on trail rides their whole lives. They've been, through Rocky Mountain National Park on a horse, or they've been on trail rides. So the groundwork is actually new for them to create that relationship with the horse on the ground. They're like, oh, wait a minute, this horse doesn't have any, reins, and this horse doesn't have a lead rope, and it's just walking around naked, and it gets to come and go as it pleases. And that's a new thing, so then being able to take that relationship and then translate it onto horseback, it brings it up to a whole new level. So that warrior therapeutic pack trip, here's the cool thing. Warrior is an acronym. I'm going to read it to make sure I don't mess it up.
Right.
I've got my handy dandy little flyer here. The warrior, of course, is the W is wisdom. The A is acceptance or accountability. One of the R's is respect. Another one of the R's is relationships. I is integrity. O is own your impact.
Nice.
R is responsibility. And if I could add another R, it would be rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, and reset. So I'm working to see if I can maybe reset some of these R's, because
that'd be like warrior.
Exactly. We might have to play with the R's, or make them multiple R's, or put the relationships up with respect or something. Because I went on the first vacation I've been on in almost 4 years, and I got to rest, relax, rejuvenate, and reset, which I had not been able to in literally almost 4 years. And that's too long. That is too long. We need to be able to unplug and reset. And with our busy lives and everything going on, a lot of times we don't take the time to do that. Or if we do, we don't allow ourselves to fully unplug, and so being able to fully unplug and get those last 4 R's in, the rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, and reset, was huge for me. And
That's
so
awesome.
I was able to come back and be able to really push things forward. I found a new inspiration and a new motivation, because I had the energy. I was able to come back refreshed. So,
well, from the first responder world, this is something I preach to my kids all the time, is that you got to take care of yourself first before you can help anyone else. And I'll be the first to admit, while I know this, and it's been something I've tried to preach, it is much easier said than done.
Yeah.
We just get so busy with this. We've talked about this many times. The business side of the nature of the work that we do is real, and sometimes amplified. It's not just about, oh, darn it, we missed the bottom line. We have the stress of that. No, people are counting on us. You know what I mean? It's like, this goes, you're damn right. This is personal. This is very personal in what we do. It's something we believe in wholeheartedly. And so, it makes it very difficult, but so that is awesome that you had a chance to do that. And I take it you got someplace tropical, because your text said something about iguanas. I was just in Cancun, and we had lots of iguanas down there that we were talking to daily.
Yep. It was just outside of Cancun. It was Puerto Morelos. Just outside of,
That's exactly where I went. The Hotel Riviera Excellence.
Nice. We were at the Riviera Maya, the El Cid. That's funny.
Okay. Yeah, we were like 10, 15 minutes away from each other. Total different times, but that's a beautiful area down there.
Oh my gosh. It was so good. And that's the thing. I mean, just exactly what you said, is that if we don't practice what we're preaching, then we're talking out of both sides of our mouths. And we've got no right being able to tell people, that you need to unplug or rest and relax if we're not doing it.
Right.
That the world will continue spinning without us for a few days,
Exactly.
And to be able to say, because then we're bringing more of our authentic selves, not our stressed out, burned out, like, oh my gosh, how's this going to work kind of selves, but really be able to rejuvenate in an authentic way.
Well, and we can speak from, we can speak from an informed position then too.
That's right.
Trust me on this. I'm a benefactor of this. I've seen what this does firsthand. Guaranteed. So you will notice something that comes from this. So
So that therapeutic pack trip, I'll make sure you've got the flyer, and it's it'll actually be up on our website shortly, within a week. Ideally, we wanted to do one this summer and one this fall. The men's cohort in the summer and the women's cohort in the fall. We'll see if we can make it with funding and timing and all of that.
It's tricky.
Even if we just do one this year, that is fine. And then we'll be able to set the pilot program and then keep forging ahead.
Yep.
It's a 6-day experience. The experience itself, the horse part is 3 days, 2 nights, and it's going to be up in the Flat Tops Wilderness, and it's going to be outfitted, for those 3 days and 2 nights. And so the day and a half before and the day and a half after is team building and getting to know the horses and learning some of the pack trip skills. And I was talking to Dan actually at Allegiance Ranch, and we were talking about maybe holding some clinics this spring and summer, how to tie certain knots, how to work with the horses, how to weigh, how to weigh it out, how to be able to, do certain things when you're actually on a trail ride.
They would love it
to do a pack trip. Yeah. So Dan and I are talking about holding some of those. So I'll make sure that I get that information out on social media and all that, because we would be, especially for the first few pilots, we would be taking people who have already been veterans, who have already been through one sort of program or another.
Right.
So whether it's Save a Warrior, whether it's Boulder Crest Retreats, whether it's Project Sanctuary, whether it's through the Center for Relationship Education Retreat, we want to make sure that, because this is not a program for people in crisis.
Right.
The last thing we want to do is, take anybody out in the middle of the woods when you're not going to be back for a couple of days and, and have them have a really rough time and have to fight for life out. So we want to make sure that the men and women who come on the trips are doing some of their intrapersonal work,
Perfect.
And so if they realize like, oh gosh, I might not be quite ready for this, what we're happy to do is talk with them, help them get the resources they need to start counseling, whether that's equine assisted therapy, whether that's, traditional therapy, whether that's the vet center, whether that's the VA, whether that's just traditional counseling, whatever that looks like. So that next summer or next spring and summer and fall, they're ready to go on a trip. We are happy to do that.
And I'm probably going to regret doing this, putting this out here on a recording, but I want to offer this up. One of the things that Romans Warrior, one of the things that we want to do with our Warrior Field Ops is we want to offer what we've kind of just been calling mini retreats. This might be, I don't know what you dropped, but that was an awesome look on your face. Something was attacking you.
I dropped my notes. Yeah.
That's right. We're live. So anyway, one of the things that you think about this, just put this in your wheelhouse here. We've been wanting to do small retreats, mini retreats in the form of take 2 to 3 folks at a time and say, head down to Pueblo Reservoir, spend 2 days down there, and we're going to go fishing down there. So we're going to be camping and we're going to be fishing, and we're just going to be hanging out with an RV, type deal, or tent, whatever, we'll gauge where we're at with that. But the whole point there is being able to connect these folks together and just share experience, and just get away.
Yeah.
This may be good, connection pieces, or if individuals are curious about, what it would be like to get away. I will offer up, immediately, if there's anything we can do in that department to help with, staging and giving them a look on this. We're literally some reservations away is what it basically boils down to. We're in the works of trying to work with a couple companies for some RV usage from time to time, so that we can, get to these locations with the kayaks and such. So I just, again, this is kind of good that I'm throwing this out there, but this is how we figure this stuff out. We both want the same thing, right? And so that's, you guys doing this pack trip. I'm telling you, this is where your name keeps coming up with Brian and I. We are so excited about this. We have wanted to be involved in some fashion with this, but we don't have the knowledge, the resource piece. And that's why I said, but they do. And so if we can help in the logistics side, if we can help, in any other areas here, then we absolutely are all in, to whatever degree we can be. You bet.
Well, and that's, and I think you and I have talked about this before, but if not, then let's just take this and run with it. Is, part of my diabolical plan is to be able to take these pack trips to that next level by adding a fishing trip, by adding a hunting trip, by adding those 2 things specifically, because that's what, the mules and the pack horses can do, is to help carry that gear up into the places where the RV can't reach.
Exactly.
Jeeps, or you don't want to take Jeeps and ATVs, or you do actually pack up the horses with the fishing gear or with the hunting gear, and that's why we hire the professional outfitters who have the horses that have been trained to do that
That's
are okay
awesome.
with the hunting and okay with the fishing, and they know how to pack in and pack out. So Absolutely. I would love
Sky's
to
the limit.
come be part of our diabolical plan. We'll come be part of yours, and
Heck yes.
just get further out in the wilderness with the horses and if I, if you can teach me how to fish, that's an extra bonus, because I to this day, the fish have yet to
Done and done.
So, yeah.
Well, and truth be told, you are a very small human being in physical stature. You're huge, otherwise, but so you're going to fit in the kayak so easy. You could probably, I could probably put you in the front of mine, and we can go out there. We'll put you on fish in a hurry.
I do like to kayak. There's benefits to being petite, but like we said about early, though she be but little, she is fierce.
That is true. No, I have plenty. We have plenty of kayaks. We will get out there. We'll go shore fishing. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll get you out there.
I'm in.
Once I get my goofiness righted here for Colorado fishing, then where I can actually say yes, I'm going to put you on fish.
Awesome.
Then we'll get that going. So let's talk about, we have some stuff coming up, some very cool fundraisers. This is a good segue piece here. One thing I did want to mention that I circled here. One of the things that I want it to be definitely known is what attracted me from the very beginning with you and Operation Equine was the family piece.
Mm-hmm.
I have had the opportunity to reach out and speak with many other nonprofits that do similar work to what we all do.
Mm-hmm.
And I have also run into a very large number of those that work with just the veterans or the first responders, which is honorable and fantastic.
Yeah.
For us, one of the lessons that Dan and Gloria and you taught me from day one is that whole family serves.
That's
and
right.
Understanding that the Warrior Bonfire program taught me that the whole family is involved in this piece. And when Brian Romans shared that with me about Romans, that their cabins they have on their land, their whole purpose, they want families coming there.
Yeah.
And one of the nights, Brian and his wife and their kids, they take the veterans kids, like, we got them for the night. You guys head off and enjoy yourself.
I love that.
And they let the kids get together and they hang out and do movies and popcorn, and whatever, while the spouses get a chance to kind of just reconnect, and
have a date night. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So that is a huge, huge factor for us. And one of the things I love so much about you guys is the way you extend that and offer that around. So
thank you. Yeah, that's a huge piece of what we do.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So let's talk about it. We've got some cool fundraising events coming up here. Not too far from now. So what do you guys have on deck here? What are some good events?
All right. So get your fancy boots on and pull out your big old fancy belt buckle, because we are going to have a barnyard jubilee, my friends.
Jubilee.
I mean, come on. There's like, I would like a gala. I'm not interested. Barnyard jubilee. Sign me up. Like, put on your fancy blingy jeans, get your blingy boots out, like the shirt, that that cool button down shirt that you wear like once every 3 years.
I'm not sure I have blingy jeans, Michelle. I'm not sure.
Hey, Murdoch's, I'm telling you, I don't know. I don't know if they do blingy jeans at Murdoch's for dudes. I know they do for ladies. But things are a lot more fluid these days, so you could wear whatever the heck you wanted to. Right?
2022, man. No judge.
Right.
No judge.
Right. You could put on a gingham dress and show up. Like, you'd be fine. You'd rock it. It'd be great. So that is Thursday, August 25th.
Yes.
It is a Thursday night. And so we are working with some local hotels to give some discounts for rooms if people want to make it, a date night, or they want to take Friday off or have a Denver day or whatever. It'll be Thursday night from 5 to 10 on Thursday, August 25th, down at Raccoon Creek in Littleton. And it's a beautiful property. It's a golf course, but it's also an old homestead. So there's this big, beautiful red barn that we're going to be in. And it's got, the lights outside, and it's got a big patio where the band's going to be playing. There's this phenomenal band called the Flatiron Brothers. And they do country Western covers, and there's going to be a line dance class. I mean, I have to roll like that. Like, there is going to be dancing. You can't have a barnyard jubilee without dancing. That would be wrong. That would be like if we didn't serve lemonade and beer. Like, that would just be wrong. Yeah, at a barnyard jubilee, right?
Crime against nature.
Yes, that's right, exactly. So, there's going to be a band and a silent auction. So we're starting to collect silent auction items. We're looking for a live auction, some bigger live auction items as well. So if anyone's got a gift basket they want to donate, or, a night at one of their timeshares, if they've got one of their favorite stores wants to donate some things. It can be pretty much anything. And of course, anyone who donates gets a thank you and a tax donation charity letter, at the end of the year to be able to donate those things. So it's a win-win situation.
Right.
And we're actually also looking for some volunteers for that night. So we still need some committee chairs and some volunteers for the evening of to help schlep in, schlep out, do the silent auction, those kinds of things. That's a great way to get to come to the Jubilee, and volunteer and get your ticket all paid for when you volunteer, which is nice. And so tickets I'll have all of this up on the website. It should be up, I think, by the end of the week or end of next week at the latest. And so that'll be, our website is operationequine.org. And then it'll be /Jubilee, but I'll be able to, I'll send this to you and we'll plaster it everywhere.
Yep. We'll amplify the heck out of it. We'll make sure that it's out there. It'll be in this podcast. I'll throw it up here on the screen as well.
Great.
So we'll re-air this thing a few times between now and then. So folks, can tune into it.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Yeah. It's going to be super fun. And it sounds like we're going to get to have you there.
Absolutely.
We're going to get to have the Warrior Field Ops being represented too, which I love.
We'll bring the bass buggy down there, and who knows, I might through True Patriot Outfitters here, there might be something we can offer up for that silent auction. I'll have to think about that and see what we can offer between physical and possibility of a trip. Maybe we take take somebody out somewhere. Yeah. So we'll talk off air.
Live action item. What did I say? Live auction item. There we go. Say that 10 times fast. That's just going to be super fun. Yeah. So come on down, totally family friendly events, barbecue and all the things. There will be some speakers as well. Yeah. So we've got some fun things up our sleeve.
Nice.
And so one of the things that also that we're raising money for, besides the organization in general, is the sponsorship fund.
Right.
And so the sponsorship fund is how we're able to offer our services at either low cost or no cost. Yep. Because what we generally do is we ask for people to do a suggested $25 donation for a session. Some people have $5 of that. Some people have all 25. Some people give 50 and pay it forward to the fund. If someone's got $1.50 in their pocket and they say, I want to come muck stalls for an hour in exchange, great. It's just being able to have that exchange of energy. I've had a lot of veterans actually say, I don't want to be a charity case. Make me pay something, even if it's $5, even if it's the $2 they got in their pocket. It's an exchange of energy. And then obviously volunteering is always an option as well. Allegiance Ranch has volunteer orientations pretty much every month.
Yep.
And so, people can come out because it's there is no therapy in the world like mucking therapy. I'm sorry. Like being able to shovel poop, have it be there and it's nothing, and then it's gone. It's beautiful. It's perfect,
Yep.
I'm a big fan. I started muck therapy when I was 6 years old and I've never looked back. So
yep.
It's a real thing. So raising money for our sponsorship fund is going to be huge. That's where a lot of those proceeds are going to go to. Yep.
That's exciting. That's going to be a good time. It's going to be a ton of fun. Lots of stuff to do.
Yes.
It's going to be the month right after the ranch has its Heroes and Hoedown.
Yes. That's what I was going to say too. Yeah.
Now, are you going to be at the Hoedown as well?
Perfect. Yeah.
We'll be there as well.
Awesome. Yeah. That's July 23rd, which I think is a Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's usually on a Saturday. So Saturday, July 23rd is the Heroes and Hoedown. So that's where everybody can come and learn more about Allegiance Ranch and all the cool stuff they're doing there. And we'll have a table. And I am 98% sure that they will have music there as well. So everybody can get
I think a DJ
on.
is what's on deck this year.
Perfect.
That way they can take some requests and they can kind of keep the genres moving around for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So a summer full of hoedowns and jubilees, like
heck
you can't go wrong,
You're in Colorado, baby. This is what we do.
That's right. And it's horses. So yeah.
Can't get much more Colorado than that.
Yeah. So that's going to be a super fun event as well.
And then, of course, our network, as we continue to stay busy come Veterans Day in November, you're going to be with us up at Johnstown Shields, where we have the Global War on Terror's Wall of Remembrance being deployed. We're going to be there for a couple of days. Yeah, man, this is, I got to tell you, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this.
Yeah,
we only work with, right now it's 4 of us. It's 4 that we, are intertwined with. We've got a 5th one on deck that I'll talk with you offline about that we're excited. I think you're going to love. And that's going to be it because they offer something completely, totally different than everybody else. but yet still under the same umbrella piece. So, and that's what we're here for. We're here to serve. We're here to help these folks and offer the complementary therapy services. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So, so we're going to put your website up. We're going to put your social media piece up. We'll have that in here. The what there is a major piece that I wanted you to speak about here. We've got about a 5-minute window here, it looks like, on our Zoom call, but go to the website. Of course, donation always is super helpful for Operation Equine. Donate to them to keep these services flying. But there's other areas that you're looking for also on the volunteer side that's really important. Go ahead and talk about that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, we are always looking for additional board members and volunteers to help out with some of the services, because helping with the horses is always the sexiest thing to do, because who doesn't want to hang out with the horses, right?
Right.
And some of the less sexy stuff to do, right? But so important. We can't do the horses unless we get some of the other things done as well, some of the foundational things. So we were able to hire some grant writers, which I'm super excited about. Summit Grant Strategies, they are phenomenal. And so what we're looking to do is get some additional board members and committee chair members to help out with the Barnyard Jubilee, to help with marketing. Oh my gosh, we are so blessed to work with Michelle Kaye, who has an amazing graphic design organization, and she's been volunteering and doing a lot of our flyers, and she'll be doing the social media for the Barnyard Jubilee. So I am not great at Facebook. That's one of those social media things that I'm not great at. And so if someone is like, I love doing that stuff, oh my gosh, come on board, we need you. So volunteers to do marketing, to do fundraising, to be committee chairs. We need a volunteer chair. We need, we're looking for like a development director kind of position on our board as well. And because boards, turn over every, 2-3 years, people who are passionate, who have a service heart, who want to roll up their sleeves and work. We are not a talk about at cocktail parties kind of board. We are a roll your sleeves up and how do you want to come play with us kind of board. So thank you for putting that out there. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, so we've talked about this before. It's huge. This is what keeps us rolling. Like you said, we have all the cool things we love to do, but there is, just more, is equally as important other tasks that have to be covered, and finding folks that are willing to chip in and do that. It's not an easy task for sure, but at the same time, the reward is beyond anything that, if you've never had the opportunity, reach out to Operation Equine, talk to Michelle, because the reward is more than can be explained in words for certain.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you.
Bet.
That's huge. Thank you.
You bet. Well, listen, I am super stoked about what's coming up. We're going to roll back and check in with you again, probably after the summer here, going into the fall, probably before the wall. We do that big deal. Yeah. We'll check back again, seeing where it's at. Absolutely know that we are here to amplify anything we can do on that social media tip. I mean, that's not easy. That is some tough stuff. I have learned the hard way with that. We're not experts in it, but we have some measurable work that we've been able to do with it. And we just went over 100 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So and not bad for a couple months old. And it's very organic. We're not doing anything flaky. So it's real people subscribing to us. And that's growing every day. So yeah, whatever we can do to help you guys out, we are there.
Yes. Likewise.
Well, cool. So we've,
far and wide.
We got to get you in a kayak. We got to get you fishing.
Yes.
I'm going to
getting you to the barn.
Yes. So we're going to get out to the barn there. We are going to learn more and more about this, and we're going to find ways that we can provide service.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. Fun as always. And I love being a part of what it is you do. Thank you.
Likewise, we're honored to be associated with you. And we'll get some pictures up, by the way. I talked about it. The Operation Equine logo is going on the truck. We finally got the vector file all, worked out. We got our logo. So we'll be getting some pictures up on our social channels. You folks will see that. Listen, folks. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, I was just going to say, we'll need to get some pictures of you and me next to the truck, and we'll plaster those everywhere. That'll be fun. Absolutely. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in with us here. We've got less than a minute before Zoom kicks us off. So we just wanted to say thank you so much for all your support, all the likes and shares. Check out operationequine.org. Check out truepatriotoutfitters.com and Romans Warrior Foundation. All those are out there. We can use all the support you folks are willing to throw our way. As always, folks, tight lines, be safe.
1, 2,